Hello, and welcome to the very first Carbon Capture Magazine podcast. I am your host, Danielle Pekarski, and I am joined by my colleague, Dana Bastian, as well as GHD's Heath Nevels.
Hi, Heath.
Hi, how are you doing?
We're doing good. We're excited to have you.
Well, thanks for having me on here to talk about GHD and what we got going on.
Yeah, so a little bit about Heath. He is an energy services leader with more than 25 years of global experience. He has worked in many different areas of exploration and production, including carbon capture, utilization, and storage, which is an area in which he has obtained subject matter expertise and industry recognition. Heath has led engineering support roles for most of the company's portfolio of CCS demonstrations and development projects, and is currently leading GHD's new carbon capture and utilization team. So Heath, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about GHD?
Well, GHD it's a global professional consulting services company. We have about 10,000 employees worldwide, with about 4,000 of them situated here in North America, which is U.S., Canada, and South America. And we primarily focus on energy, water, and urbanization, and the sustainability of that. GHD, we have just over 200 offices globally, and we were established in 1928 in Australia, and so we've kind of grown at a pretty good speed here in North America.
Yeah, and I know that you have recently expanded the future energy portion of GHD and developed a CCUS team. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So GHD it's probably been about 3 years now, with their regimented list of clients in both the upstream and downstream segments, decided that they were going to kind of embrace the decarbonization efforts that these clients were wanting to take. So they created a group called Future Energy, and within Future Energy, we have the wheel of different offerings, including hydrogen, CCUS, which is where I am, offshore wind, transportation, renewable natural gas, among others. And I was brought into to GHD to develop a CCUS team that is focused on everything from the surface to the subsurface, and I like to tell people, from air to pore space.
Awesome. And what do you hope to accomplish with the creation of this team?
So with the creation of this team is, we're able to provide our clients with actual real world CCUS experience through our technical expertise, and these are geoscientists and engineers and experts that come from the oil and gas industry. We also see that where we can help our clients kind of collaborate between the downstream, midstream, and upstream to embrace the decarbonization and collaborate in projects to where we can push that forward going forward.
Awesome. Again, we are talking with Heath Nevels, Director of CCUS at GHD. And what would you say that your client base is that you will reach with the new carbon capture and utilization team?
Our client base is primarily focused in the upstream, the midstream, and the downstream segments. It's a very diverse portfolio of clients, and each having different decarbonization targets and different ways of approaching the decarbonization movement.
Yeah, it's such a big industry that when you're in engineering, it seems like you can pretty much go any way to produce something.
Yes, I agree. Yep. Yeah.
Why do you believe that it's essential that we start implementing CCUS?
Well, CCUS is, we've been capturing CO2 since the 1920s, and as an oil and gas professional, we know how we understand how this works, and we've been injecting CO2 into reservoirs since the 1970s. So we know how to do it. It's the quickest way to decarbonize, and it's a proven technology, and we've been, like I said, we've been doing it for a while. So until the technologies, the green hydrogen and the other bits and pieces are able to catch up, decarbonization, CCUS is happening now. We can put a dent in it in real time.
Yeah. So, despite having come so far from the 1920s to where we are now, what would you say are some technical challenges that we still have to overcome for CCUS?
So the technical challenges, at least here in the U.S., are around the capture technologies and the transportation of CO2. So there's only a very few amount of capture technologies that are available out there that can capture the volumes of CO2 and the concentration of CO2 um, continuously out there, and unfortunately, it's only a handful of companies that have these technologies. So they put out their capital, their capital expense and their operating expense at what the market will bear. And a lot of times that's really a non-starter for projects here in the U.S. because there's just not incentive. So what we need to do is we need to help some of these other technologies that are in a technical readiness levels that are on the threshold of being commercial. And once we do that, then a lot of this, then we have an actual market, and they can compete. The other technical challenge is around transportation. So there's close to 3 million miles of pipeline in the U.S., right? And it's all, everything from natural gas to crude oil to water. And there's only approximately 3,900 miles of pipeline that's just dedicated to CO2. And again, these are owned by just a handful of operators, and they're really just used for enhanced oil recovery, which is a form of CCUS. It's the utilization part in carbon capture, utilization, and storage. And so we see, uh, 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 for instance, some of these big pipelines that the U.S. has tried to install, and there's a lot of ambiguity around, regulations of specifications of what CO2 pipelines should look like. There's challenges with obtaining rights of way, and people just not wanting to have pipelines coming through their properties or around their area.
Right. Well, I think we have time to squeeze in one last question for you. So, what would you say that we need to do to make CCUS more affordable and commonplace?
Yeah. So what needs to happen, at least in my mind, is that the operators, the technology advisors, and emerging technology providers, they need to work together to identify and help develop emerging capture technologies. Just as I mentioned before, there's a whole host of capture technologies out there that are just on the threshold of being commercial, and we just need to get these folks to allow for a demonstration or something to get them over that threshold. By investing in these developing emerging technologies, competition will be created in the market, which will, and it'll drive down the cost of these systems. It's an elementary, it is elementary to make it happen. There's a clear need. There's also a clear need to incentivize CO2 transmission and sequestration better. Right now, the 45Q, the tax credits are primarily aimed at the people capturing it. Now there is allowance to pass through to the transportation and sequestration part, but because the capture technologies are at such a high capex and opex, it leaves almost nothing for the midstream and the upstream. So that's those a combination of the technical challenges and the incentives by the government are really what needs to be improved.
Okay. Well, thank you, Heath Nevels, Director of CCUS at Future Energy, GHD.
Thanks, Heath.
Oh, thank you, and thank you again for letting me get on here and chat about CCUS and GHD.
Yeah, thank you.